Do you know what's moderately interesting? Handlebar tape. I've recently come to appreciate that it's one of the cheaper upgrades to your comfort that you can make to your bike, and it's especially important if you're riding a lot of gravel and off-road. I've been using quite a few recently. I've been doing so much gravel that I've used a lot of different tapes, and I've come up with a list of some of my favorites that could maybe help other people when they come to choose just spending a little bit more money to get a little bit more comfort. The cheapest comfort upgrade is, of course, dropping 5 psi out of your tires. That will cost you $0, could break your rim though. Anyway, so let's do a countdown. 5 tapes in under, I don't know, 5 minutes. That's probably all this is worth, so let's do it. Those who want to class up their bikes should look at this sick Levation Grind Touch tape. I just had it put on very recently and it's been quite a star performer. And it looks sick, which is, you know, mostly what matters. What I like about this stuff is that it's both very thick and it's very grippy. It is the newest to the bike, so I can't really tell you how long it lasts, but I've put a lot of hours onto it in a fairly short amount of time because of a bikepacking trip, and I can tell you that it's very, very nice to put your hands on. One interesting thing to note is that it has gel on the backing rather than an adhesive, so it should actually be fairly easy to unwrap and rewrap if you ever need to do any maintenance that requires that. That gel does mean that you can't really stretch it too much when you are doing the wrap, so just be careful if you are a kind of DIY handlebar tape wrapper. Personally, I have mechanics who I trust for that sort of thing because they will do a better job than I could anyway. I have quite liked the advanced grind touch, so it gets a thumbs up for me for looking classy and feeling good. Tas's Bike's Fat Wrap was basically invented to stop people having to double wrap their bar tape, and it is unbelievably plush. It's hard to describe just how thick it is, you just have to experience it for yourself. This stuff feels like you've grabbed onto pillows and then grabbed onto your handlebars. It is insane how thick this Tas's Bike Fat Wrap is. Although eagle-eyed people who are familiar with the product may realize that I actually had it wrapped the wrong way. You shouldn't be able to see the logos. Anyway, doesn't matter. What's really impressive about this stuff is both how it feels and how it wears. I had this on my bike for about 2 years, and they weren't exactly easy years. This footage here is what it looked like just before I took it off to replace it with another set of tape. It's crazy thick, crazy comfortable, lasts ages. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it is very good. The one thing to be aware of though is that I don't think they've ever made a longer version for gravel bars. So if you're running really big bars, then I don't know whether the length will be quite enough. The name is very literally correct here. Curve's bar tape is very, very long. This was the stuff that ships with their warmers, so yeah, it is massive. This tape won't win any awards for being particularly thick, but its length is what makes it very useful. So in the world where gravel bars are getting wider all the time, Curve is ahead of the market here. So even if you're not planning to use them on a set of warmers, you know, if you've got something that is of equivalent length and you just want to make sure you have plenty of tape to wrap it up with, then I would say this is a good option. Not the thickest stuff out there, but it is very useful for people who need that length. The FSA Ultra Cork is the best value option on this list. You can find it for so cheap. A lot of the other brands I've already mentioned are a bit niche and a bit exotic, but this stuff is available everywhere, and it's excellent. This bar tape deserves a bit of a Lifetime Achievement Award because it was around long before gravel grinding really became popular, and it's done broadly the same job that the Tas's Bike's Fat Wrap did, but for quite a lot less money. This stuff is so cheap wherever you can find it. It's just great stuff. I had this on the Bossy before I rewrapped it with the sick Levation, and I was impressed with how it felt, how it looked, and how it lasted. And being FSA, it's pretty widely available, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. For the budget option, this one is a winner. Finally, a solid all-rounder from the fine people at Zip with their service course tape. Again, it's pretty cheap, widely available, and quite comfortable. This tape was what ended up on my Grove 2.0 build when I got the Zip Service Course bar and stem. It actually feels very similar to the Curve tape, but it's a little bit thicker. In the same way that the FSA is, this stuff is quite available in a lot of places and it's not overly expensive. Again, it's a good mixture of price and performance. I have quite liked how it's felt and it has been perfectly resilient in the time that I've had it. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Everything is mentioned and linked in the description below. I don't get any affiliates or paid for any of this sort of stuff, so this is purely just a service to make your hands slightly more comfortable when you are out on the bike. What is your favorite bar tape? And don't give me any of that double wrapping nonsense. The whole reason I made this video is because you don't have to do that anymore because of great bar tapes like this. Although I guess you can still double wrap if you really want to. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave it. Ride safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time.